Hey friend, I'm Coach Christine, a level 2 RRCA certified run coach, occasional Fig Newton loving fueled runner with lots of glitter. I'm also your personal fairy run mother. I want to welcome you to Extraordinary Strides, the podcast for runners who believe that finish lines are magical, but that the real story happens in the miles, a little bit of mess, and the moments that we almost quit, but we don't. This show is where education meets a little entertainment. Yeah, a little edutainment, if you will, with training tips, real talk, and sparkly motivation to help you chase goals that feel extraordinary to you. So whether you're run walking your way through your first 5K, ramping up for a runcation, or trying to figure out why your hydration pack tastes like regret, we've got something here for you. Ready? Let's lace up and let's take some extraordinary strides together. Because friend, today, in honor of National Bucket List Day, I have put together 100 things every runner should experience at least once. This list is going to be inclusive, it's going to be real, maybe a tad bit ridiculous because, hey, life's too short not to be. So while you're not going to find qualifying for Boston here unless that's your dream, it's going to be about making running feel epic, personal, and joyfully yours. So again, let's get started. For our top of this list, we're going to get right into some of the things that I think are super important if racing calls to you. If signing up for an organized 5K, 10K, half, or above is your jam, these are the top 10 things that I think should be on your bucket list. And maybe you've already done them. Maybe you're considering doing them in the near future. Right off the top of the list, I'm going to say running a race in costume. Now, you may want to dab into it a little lightly at first. Maybe it's something sparkly, like a headband. Maybe it's something from some of the incredible running companies that has a little bit of sparkle tutus. Or maybe you go all out, but I do think you should run a race in costume. The next thing that I think you really should do is sign up for a race in another state. Yeah, I really do. I think there's something to be said about having to get planned and hotels and flights or car trips to really kind of get into the nitty-gritty of a full-on runcation experience. I also think you should cross a finish line with your arms raised like Rocky. That's number 3 on this list, and I think it's super important. You should celebrate all of the incredibleness of running your own race. Now, number 4 on this list is to run a race in the pouring rain. And if you are going to stick out running long enough, my friend, this is going to happen. So, of course, we've got some tips for rainy day weather on the blog. But for here and now, I want you to also lean into preparing for that potential rainy day race by not skipping those runs when the weather's less than ideal. Now, one thing that I've discussed before, and I think this is very important, I really think it's a running rite of passage. Volunteer at a race instead of running it. Can't tell you how hard this is for me. I love volunteering. I love cheering, but goodness gracious, there's something magical about racing it, right? But these races can't be magical if it's not for our volunteers. So take a little step on the wild side, my friend, and volunteer at a water station or on-course support. Check with your local race director. They're always looking for volunteers to really make that day special. Number 6 on this list is do a themed race. Maybe it's a donut dash or a mud run or a color run or a zombie run. Whatever calls to you that adds a little bit of levity and joy and fun and spark to your running and your racing, I think that should definitely be on your list. And number 7 is to run a race with live music or DJs along the course. Bonus points if they have both. And luckily, a lot of our local races here in Florida definitely do. And if your local races don't, let's make that happen, my friend. Maybe you could cross off 2 things on this bucket list. Maybe you need to sign up for a race down here. Now, this one's kind of special. I think you should complete a race that maybe takes you through an area that you wouldn't normally be able to run through. Maybe it's a racetrack. There's tons of those throughout the country, or at least a few that come to mind. Daytona and Indianapolis definitely come to mind. Or maybe you're running through the VAB, the Vehicle Assembly Building at NASA. I was lucky enough to be able to do one of those types of races, but something where maybe it would be off limits under any other situation, like the Skyway Bridge or the 7 Mile Bridge, Verrazano Bridge for New York City runners. So definitely taking that into account of realizing how special it is to be able to run that part of the world. Next thing on this list, now this one of course is going to be for all of my lovely ladies. I would love for you to feel the epicness of running an all women's race. If you listen to our Every Women's Marathon race recap, there was a common theme, and it was how empowering it was to run with other women runners that were all there crossing off the miles and smiles together. Definitely going down as one of my favorite experiences ever. So I would love to have you do that as well. Number 10 on this list, and it brings us to wrapping up races specifically, is sign up for a night race and then light yourself up like a glow stick. There is something super fun. I'm not a great nighttime runner. It's past my bedtime. I get a little sleepy, a little groggy, but there is something magical about those nighttime races. So I'm going to ask you to make that happen. Now, I've already talked a little bit about runcations in that first top 10, but we're going to talk next on running adventures and travel. Number 11 on our top 100 list is going to be to run while on vacation, even if it's just a mile. Nothing says, hey, I'm dedicated to my training, and I love the fact that I get to run this part of the world or run this aspect of my life, like running while on vacation. So if you generally don't pack your running shoes, I'm here to encourage you to do so, my friend. Of course, if it calls to you, I'd love you to maybe number 12, log a run in another country. Bonus points, and maybe you can't read all of the signs, the street signs, it's in a different language. And I know that may feel a little less in your comfort zone. There's something beautiful about connecting with other cultures and all through the beauty and the power of movement. Because there's something special about seeing other runners, and you may not speak the same language, but you'll still have that proverbial little head nod going on. There's so many great resources online to be able to find some really safe running paths no matter where you go. So I'm definitely going to suggest that as well. Number 13, this one's super special. And I know not everybody has access to it, but running on the beach. Now, it's a little different. It's not as easy as maybe the movies make it out to be. It can have its own challenges, but it is exceptionally special to be able to run on the beach. I'm going to suggest, though, that if you give it a twirl and it's your first time doing it, you're probably going to still want to wear your running shoes, and you're going to want to do it on the hard-packed sand on low tide. Trying to do it when it's a soft-packed sand during high tide is going to be incredibly challenging. So just giving that little bit of heads up, my friend. Number 14, take it to the trails. That's right. A lot of us are road runners, but there's something special about taking it out into the trails. I'd love for you to do that. And hey, prepare for it to feel different. Maybe even prepare that you might get a little lost. So get familiar with technology that you may have with you to help you. And of course, pack some snacks. Now, for all of you friends that are so big into cruises, I'm going to say there's something fun about running on a cruise ship track. Now, I'm going to be honest, this is something I have not crossed off my list personally, but every time I see one of my athletes cross this off their list, they talk about how much fun they had, even if it felt kind of silly in the moment. They absolutely enjoyed being able to run on that cruise ship track. Now, I did talk about exploring a new city or logging a country, run in another country. I'm going to call it number 16 to create a sightseeing run. Even if it's your own city in your own neighborhood, my friend, really take the opportunity to go out on a run, being really present, really aware, taking in the sights, and really trying to find something new that you enjoy. Maybe if you usually take a right, today's the day where you take a left. have fun with it. It doesn't all have to be perfectly planned out. Number 17, experience altitude running and then humble yourself accordingly. Ooh, I feel like this is a personal attack on my experience when I first did altitude running. I had no idea how difficult it was going to be. I do distinctly remember thinking, unless if there is an In-N-Out burger at the next aid station, then I'm never going to make it through this particular race. Okay, number 18, run on some cobblestone streets. Ooh, I know this one's one that most runners absolutely hate, but this is again another reminder of giving yourself the opportunity to travel outside of your comfort zone. It may slow you down a little bit. You may have to be more mindful as to how you actually pick up your feet, but giving yourself the opportunity to really use running for what it is. It's a chance to not just explore you, yourself, your future goals, but a chance to explore the world around you a little differently. Number 19, maybe one of my favorites on this portion of the list, is when you're out on a travel trip, maybe working, or maybe it's for fun and pleasure, join a local run group. It's one of my favorite things to do when I first go somewhere new, is to look up their local run groups, look up the running culture in that area, and join along for the fun. Bonus points if maybe they stay afterwards for coffee or a beer and get to chit-chat with them and get to know the locals. Number 20 is create your own vacation race. Let's say that you have signed up. You cannot find anything to sign up when you went on your own your own vacation or family vacation. Go ahead and make it your own. Maybe you map out your hotel route where you could do your own little personal 5K and award yourself your own fun medal. Okay, as we continue to chat about this list, this runner's bucket list. Now, it's my own. If you don't agree with it, you're welcome to tell me that you don't think this should have made the list or that I should have put something else instead. I'd love to hear from you in the Extraordinary Strides podcast group called the Stride Collective on Facebook. But number 21, we're starting to get into the not so pretty stuff about running, right? So it's about those war stories, those moments that are not glamorous, but they're absolutely part of the journey. Number 21, forget to use anti-chafe and then learn the hard way when you get into the shower. It's going to happen. If you're going to run long enough, this one's coming for you, my friend. Or maybe you did use anti-chafe or some Glide and it still wasn't quite enough. So yeah, 21's going to be near and dear to your heart. You'll never forget that sting of the water spray. Number 22, say a loving rest in peace to a toenail. Now, I've been really fortunate in my decades of running where I haven't completely lost a toenail, but I did bruise a little pinky nail once. So just letting you know that it's part of the process as well. Looking into maybe those shoes with the wider toe box might be helpful, or checking out your running stance to see your form. There could be some contributing factors to losing that toenail, but for a lot of runners, it is a rite of passage to go through this process. Number 23, have a good old cry during your run. Yeah, maybe the weight of the world feels like it's on your shoulders and you're able to release those emotions during your run. Maybe it's because you just are so struck by the beauty or the awe of the surroundings when you're doing your sightseeing run. But yeah, just having a good old cry. Goodness gracious knows I've definitely have had those during a run. Number 24, I feel very strongly on this one, using a porta potty. I don't like porta potties. They're the worst, but they're also not the worst. They're the best when you have to use the restroom and you don't want to go in nature, or worse, in your running clothes. Yeah, let's try to avoid that. Not judging if it happens here, just letting you know that porta potty is something you really are going to have to get a handle on. Number 25, making a little mistake on your run, like, I don't know, mistaking your Vaseline for sunscreen or sunscreen for Vaseline, or grabbing BioFreeze on an aid station thinking it's Vaseline. All those things can go wrong. So those little mistakes of being a runner definitely do come along with the territory. Number 26 makes me giggle a little bit, but maybe pee a little bit during a run or a race. I've heard a few stories of some runners that really were very adamant about their PR. and felt focused and strong and didn't want to waste time at a porta potty. But I'm not going that far. I'm just saying maybe just, a little bit. All that running motion is a little bit harder on your bladder. All right, number 27 is get those blisters in places that you didn't know that could blister. A lot of us, especially as we get into more summer running or we're not quite 100% wearing the right shoes or socks, could create some blisters. Maybe it's just, again, that you have to change out your socks or your shoes mid-run if you're particularly sweaty or your feet are particularly sweaty. There's some tips for this as well, maybe using some Aquaphor or using some Glide on your feet to help protect you from those blisters. But still, it's a rite of passage. We learn and we course correct through these not so pretty things that happen. Number 28, I honestly don't know that you can really say that you've run if you haven't had number 28 in your life, which is to bonk. Yeah, that's right, hitting that wall. While we definitely don't want to advocate for hitting the wall, it's gonna happen, but you're gonna learn from it. That's the best part of number 28, is you're gonna learn what your body needs and how to fuel it accordingly. So of course, fueling before the run, figuring out what timing works for you on the run, what fueling is best for you, and that post-run, also super important to keep it all going well. Number 29 is going to happen as well. You're going to invariably at some point overdress or underdress and suffer because of it. They both have their pros and cons. They both have some ways around it, even when you're out there on the run or race course. But I would say that likely overdressing, if you're able to peel off layers, is a little easier to deal with, unless if you're instead of underdressing. That one may be a little bit more challenging. So take into consideration, especially as we go into training seasons that maybe won't replicate our race day conditions, that we really have to nail down what we may need for our race day in terms of what kind of clothing. Number 30 kind of goes a little bit with number 21 on this list, but number 30 is to chafe in new and horrifying ways. And again, been there, done that. Thank you, London Marathon. I had no idea I could chafe in my sports bra line the way that I did for that particular race. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about next on this list. We're going to go into fuel, food, and hydration. Fueling is a little bit of a science, a little bit of an art. Occasionally, it could be almost like a dramatic comedy, a dramedy, if you will. Trial and error lead to breakthroughs. So number 31, I'm going to say that this is something that I first experienced on a race day, and I thought it was literally manna from the heavens. And it's to try pickle juice or a pickle pop as part of your fueling and your electrolyte replenishment. If you're thinking, ew, I don't know, my friend, you may want to give it a try before you say that. Number 32 on this list is testing multiple gels before you find the one. And even then, that one may not translate to your next racing season or training season. So take into consideration that when it comes to the world of fueling for our runs, that sometimes you have to kiss a lot of frogs before you find your perfect raining fuel. Number 33 is maybe incorporate some whole foods mid-run. That could definitely always be a little bit of a way to deal with some of that palate fatigue from some of the gels. Number 34 is to try a wild electrolyte flavor. I mean, I've seen cotton candy, I've seen hot chocolate, maybe salted caramel. I mean, I don't know how wild some of these are, but something that maybe you ordinarily wouldn't try, give it a twirl. Number 35, well, this one's not one that you're going to love, but maybe it's figuring out what doesn't work for you the night before you're running in terms of fuel. This goes back to needing those porta potties. But yeah, having a little bit of trial and error with the night before our long runs is always part of the process as well. Number 36 is finishing a long run and crushing brunch like it owes you money afterwards, because again, you want to get that refueling, that replenishment. You're hungry and you're ready to rock. So I love that you own that as part of the process, getting that refueling in. Number 37, I love this one as well. Carb loading with zero guilt. My friend, so many things out there are telling you that carbs aren't great, but they are your best friend during endurance training. So I love normalizing that you should have those big, beautiful, delicious carbs in your life. Number 38 is hydrating like a summer training pro. That's right. There's something magical about finally figuring out what works exactly for you and making it happen for your runs. Number 39 is learning to love salt tabs. Okay, maybe you don't have to learn to love salt tabs, but definitely learning to love how to get in those electrolyte replacements one way or the other. And number 40 is discovering your weird, your quirky, but your perfect pre-run fuel. For me, it's salted jasmine rice. Love salted jasmine rice. It's plain, it's carblicious, it's got that extra saltiness. I feel like I run fantastic when I have this particular pre-run fuel. Now, we're gonna go into the next part of the list where we're gonna talk about firsts that shift everything. Because every runner has a first time that changes the game. And these are moments that mark your evolution and your growth. So number 41 on this list, your first I'm a real runner moment. A little Pinocchio there. I'm a real boy. I'm a real runner. Oh, it's such a magical moment. If you haven't had it yet, please, please keep going, my friend. It will click for you. It clicks for different people at different times. There's no recipe for what creates that click, that moment for you. But I do want you to share that and share it often when you really feel like you can own that title. Number 42 on this list is your first pair of real running shoes. And now you know what I'm talking about, my friend, because your first running shoes, they may have been whatever you had in your closet. Not throwing any shade, simply saying it may not have been the best pair for you, or it may have been something you picked up because you like the color, you like the style. But I'm talking about your first pair of real running shoes where you went to a foot specialty, running specialty store, and you got fitted for it. Now, this next one doesn't have to be something that calls to you, but it is generally a first that a lot of people get very excited about, which is their first run longer than a 5K. A lot of folks come to running through like couch to 5K. I know I did. So I was so excited that very first run that I did that was over that 3.11. So that may be a really great first for you. Your first race medal. There is something super special about that first race medal. There's no doubt on that. I could probably dig through my big box of medals and find that one. It's probably the one that I would never part with. Number 45 on this list, your first time with a running group. Oh, I remember the angst that I had, that I was going to slow down the running group, that they were going to think that I wasn't quote unquote a real runner, and how great it was to be able to immerse myself into the world of running with others. So that's always super exciting. Number 46, this is again likely going to be one that's more gravitated toward the ladies. But speaking of ladies, it's your first time running in just a sports bra. I know. For some, this is something that's very natural and very easy to do. For some others, it takes a lot to get to that point. But there is, again, quite a bit of beauty in that first of saying, hey, I am confident and I want to feel like I can be fast and functional without worrying about what other people are thinking about me. Number 47. I do not wish anyone to experience the dreaded I word, the injury, during any kind of running or whatever the case may be. But your first run after an injury and after having to be quote unquote benched, it does feel so different. There's such a connection to gratitude for being able to, for really the opportunity to get to move our bodies through a sport and an athletic pursuit that we've come to love. Number 48 is the first time someone calls you inspiring, which, my friend, I'm here to say I'm inspired by you. You maybe haven't heard it quite yet, but trust me, post the selfie, post the run on your social media. You're inspiring someone, I guarantee that. Number 49, this one's a little controversial, but I'm going to stand by it. I'm willing to die on this hill right here. first DNS did not start or DNF did not finish, and realizing it's okay. Maybe something happened in life where you couldn't make it to that start line after a strong training season. Or maybe you made it to the start line, but because of events, maybe your fueling was off or stressors, or maybe your training was off, you didn't finish that race. Both of these are part of the process. And why I think they're so instrumental is because we need to be able to work hard towards our goals and be okay with accepting failure. Realizing that it doesn't make us any less of a runner. It doesn't mean we're never going to toe back up to a start line. It doesn't mean that we're going to pack up our running shoes, but we're going to show resiliency. We're going to show that grittiness. We're going to show that determination that we've cultivated through running by continuing to move through it. Doesn't mean that you can't be disappointed, but accepting it and owning it is part of the process. Number 50 is maybe the first time that you hit a specific pace, or you passed someone that you never thought you could, or even run with somebody that you never thought you could. I always think that's super exciting as well. Okay, we are midway through this list, and I want to take a little quick stretch break and say, if this list has you laughing or nodding or maybe disagreeing, it's your sign to make this officially fun. So come join one of our upcoming challenges, or join our group, Extraordinary League, or snag yourself a custom coaching plan built just for you. So whether you're working through your bucket list or figuring out how to run without chafing, we've got plenty of support, sparkle, and a whole lot of magic waiting for you. So visit extraordinarystrides.com for all the details, or shoot me a message and let's make some running magic together. Okay, back to the bucket list madness. Where were we? Oh yeah, we were just heading down the list into gear, gadgets, and glorious finds. We all know that sometimes it's the right gear that unlocks a new confidence or comfort. You know, last year for me, it was all about finding my ride or die running skirt that I could wear during summer training. I love me some running skirts during winters in Florida, but generally, I haven't really loved running in skirts during Florida summers. So last year, I had so much fun testing out new running skirts and finding something that made me excited. So that's where it talks about number 51 is finding the perfect running skirt or shorts or leggings or capris, finding whatever makes you feel like the superhero that you are. Number 52 is budgeting or splurging for a GPS watch. There is something so incredible. Talk about my first. Oh, I was so excited for my first Garmin. It was truly the most beautiful thing I had ever seen. Prior to that, running just felt a little bit more challenging. I loved having my first GPS watch. I actually remember even having to put my arm up into the sky, waiting for the GPS signal to connect. It was almost like AOL dial-up for you young kids. You don't know what that is. Let's just say it took a long time for your GPS to connect. Okay, number 53 is discovering the perfect anti-chafe product for you. For me, I'm going to always say, well, at least for the foreseeable future, I love me some Mega Babe. But again, really finding the perfect anti-chafe for you. Number 54 is wearing a headlamp and feeling like a trailblazing warrior. That's right, I'm here for it, my friend. At some point in your running journey, you're going to get out there for a really early morning run or a late evening run, or maybe signing up for one of those nighttime races. You're going to need a headlamp. And it is something that I think you should have as an experience as a runner. Number 55, trying shoe lights for a little nighttime flair, or maybe it's a Nox Gear vest and having a little fun with it, making your own little running party. Number 56, let's be honest, a lot of you already do this. This is almost like a wild card. I know you already do it. You've used some kind of a running app and obsessed over the stats. I'm going to also go on and say that I can't wait for you to not obsess so much about the metrics. But let's be honest, that's definitely on the must-dos for all runners. Number 57 is at some point trying the latest craze. Like there was a while toe socks were the thing. Minimalism for our running was a thing. Now we're in a maximalism trend. So kind of digging into the new trend of a gear. is part of the process. Number 58 is rocking a race belt or bib belt and feeling 3% faster from it. I don't rock a bib belt anymore, but I will tell you the first time I had a bib belt, it felt like, oh yeah, I am. This is kind of one of those situations where I feel like I am a runner. Okay, number 59 is finding the perfect handheld bottle or hydration vest for you. That's a tough one. You may have, again, kind of like the fueling, you may have to play with a few different ones before you find the perfect one. And then number 60, something that I think quite a few of you are very good at as well, is running in themed gear just for fun. Like no race, nothing formal, just finding something that puts a smile on your face, a little dopamine dressing, if you will, where you really spark that brain to feel good even before you get out there and associate it with the run. So making that happen is a whole lot of fun. We continue to work through this list. We're getting into mental and emotional milestones that I think every runner is going to need to check on off at least once. Number 61, this one I think really, this is again a connection that's really strong with when you really own up to being a runner, is lacing up even when your motivation is less than 0. You know what I'm talking about. And I'm so proud of you for doing it. Maybe you're doing that right here and now. Go you, my friend. Go you. Number 62 is using mantras to get through tough miles. We know so many of professional runners, so many of ultra runners have talked about the necessity for them to have a strong why or connection or a mantra to get through their tough miles. So I think that's also something that you have to put onto your runner's bucket list if you haven't already done. Number 63, crying at a finish line. Maybe you're going to cry for just your first one. Maybe you're going to cry on your 180th one. But having a little tear of pride kind of well up and, roll down your cheek, I think that needs to happen. Number 64 is running for a cause that is close to your heart. It can be stressful to fundraise while you're training, but something incredibly special about truly knowing that you're doing something greater than just showing up for a run. You're really showing up to raise awareness and much needed funds for something that you feel very strongly about. It definitely adds a lot of meaning to it. Number 65, I love this one. Overcoming a fear. Looking it dead in the eye and being like, I'm taking you down. Maybe it's running in dark areas, being very mindful and safe and aware though still. Maybe it's hills that scare you. Maybe it's overcoming a fear of a specific distance. Maybe it's a specific type of workout, but really leaning into that fear and overcoming it. Number 66, my friend, is completing a run without checking your pace even once. How often have you done that? It's okay. This is a safe space. Have you ever done that? I really want you to try at least one time. Number 67. This one's magical. Experiencing a runner's high. Now, I will be honest, the more you run, the harder it is to get that runner's high. Your body becomes a little bit more used to it. So maybe you have to get into overcoming those fears of specific workouts or specific distances to get into that runner's high. But knowing that it can happen if you're ready to let it click for you. Number 68, I hope that this is something you felt multiple times, not just one time, but it does need to get checked off the list. Feeling like the total badass that you are during your workout. Now, a lot of us feel great after our workout, but I want you to be able to lean into feeling that right here and now during your workout. Number 69, I think is also very important. Silencing your inner critic. I talked to a whole lot of you. I am so lucky to be able to get a little peek into the brain and the lived experience of so many different types of runners with so many different big audacious goals. And there is a commonality that there's always a little bit of that inner critic inside of us all. And it's okay if that is something that you use to help push you forward, but I don't want you to let that inner critic take your joy for your run and your goals. So learning how to silence it or at least turn down the noise is really exceptional, really something you should strive for on this list. Now, number 70, I can't imagine there's a runner that's listening to me right now that hasn't done this. But if you haven't, this is your time, my friend. Using running to process big emotions. Now, there's a lot of talk about how running has a bipedal motion. It kind of simulates a little bit of processes like EMDR, where it kind of allows both areas of your lobe to kind of just get into the nitty-gritty of processing different things and talking it out loud to yourself even. So using your running to help you to really process those emotions, whatever they may be, is absolutely an exceptional thing to add to this list. Now we're going to make our way into community and connection. While running tends to feel like a solo sport, community is truly the heartbeat and at the soul of us all. So number 71, making a lifelong friend. I hope it's even friends through running. Yes. Get yourself a best running friend. They don't even have to be somebody you run with all the time. Maybe there's somebody that you only see online or that you text with, but making a lifelong friend through running is definitely something that you should endeavor to do if you haven't already. Number 72, this is almost akin to getting your own personal best. It's pacing someone else to their goal. Wow, it's powerful. It truly is so powerful to take this gift that we've been bestowed, and with that, bestowing that gift to others, of helping them to meet their goal by pacing them through maybe some of the tough miles or tough moments or tough portions of the race. I love that, my friend. Number 73 is be paced by someone who believes in you. You know why I think this is really important? A lot of us have a hard time receiving. We're okay with giving. Like, I can give of myself, but then to ask for help. But there's something so beautiful about letting yourself really hear from somebody who cares about you, who knows how strong you are. Say, you know what? I really want to help you meet your goal. Let me pace you. Or even yet, if you have someone in your circle that you think that you would love to have that honor, maybe give them a shout and see if they're willing to do so. Number 74, starting a running tradition. Okay, this could be maybe you start a turkey trot every year. Maybe this is where you meet for bagels like once a month for your run. Whatever it is, starting a running tradition with somebody that's near and dear to your heart. Number 75, every runner should at one time try running with a dog. Even if you have to borrow one, but please ask for permission because I'm not here trying to get you arrested, my friend. Running with a dog, you want to talk about like the beautiful version of true speed play or of running for joy, running for just the spirit of being free. That's going to happen with a dog, my friend. They're not checking their paces. They don't care about their cadence. I don't even think they would even know how to manage their different heart rate zones. They're all about moving for the joy of moving. I want you to experience that. So give that a twirl. Number 76, running with a family member. Yes, this is incredibly special when you can finally convince somebody in your loved ones in your circle to be like, hey, come join me for a run. Number 77 is cheering for strangers at a race. If you have not listened or checked out our spectator checklist with Lynn, please go do that. That podcast was amazing. The checklist is amazing. Number 78, of course, it's part of one of our favorite things about racing is being cheered on by strangers. But you know what? Make sure you thank them as you go by. Maybe even give them a high five. Number 79 on this list is joining an online run community. Hello, Stride Collective or the Extraordinary League. We're here for you, my friend. Number 80. Remember how we talked about somebody out there feels that you're inspiring? Well, inspiring someone else to start their running. Being that positive force for them. I really do want you to join that online running community and tell me how right or wrong you think I am about this list, my friend, or what I may have missed. But we made it into just for the giggles of it. Running doesn't always need to be serious. I hope that you know that already. But there are some lighthearted moments that I feel are really important to have on your runner's bucket list. And number 81 is doing a turkey trot in a ridiculous outfit. Yes, absolutely. Wear the gobble gobble hat. Wear the turkey tail. Make it happen, my friend. Number 82 is try a little bit of plogging. Picking up some trash while running, bonus points if you organize it with other runners in your community to really make a difference. Number 83, I hope you've made this happen. If not, when are you putting it on your bucket list? Dancing at a water stop. That's right. A little shoulder shimmy, a little bit of booty shaking going on, but really enjoying and leaning into it. Number 84, a little bit of singing on the run. So maybe it's karaoke a la solo, or maybe you are blurting out in harmony with your besties as you run through, but 84 is definitely a really important one as well. Number 85 is perfecting your mid-run selfie. I mean, come on, you're out there doing it for the Instagram, right? Number 86 is naming your running shoes. It's okay. I'm curious what you have named your running shoes. Number 87, oh, my friend, this one's so important. I want you to run naked. That's right. Absolutely without any semblance of a watch. While getting your first GPS watch is likely as exciting as it was for me, I'm going to ask you to occasionally take that watch off and go out for a run. I still do this myself, my friend. There are just some runs where I don't bother going out with a watch. Really just learn how to lean into my breath and being aware of where I'm at and kind of just tuning into myself. Number 88, singing your power song during a race. I know that one takes a little bit of extra courage, but I know you're working out to it. Number 89 is maybe ending your long run at some place that makes you smile. For me, it's always going to be a coffee shop, but maybe yours is an ice cream shop. Maybe it's a brewery. Maybe it's a pizza place. Whatever works for you here, friend, as long as it makes you smile after all of your miles, that's all that's important. And number 90, kind of going along with the theme of things, is pretending that you're in a music video or maybe a spy game while you're running. So adding in some hint of fun and flair, a little bit of levity to your run. Just be an ordinary long run, but still you can make it your own. All right, my friend, we have had a whole lot of fun, a whole lot of silliness, but now it is very important that for us to wrap up this last 10, we do get down to business. A little bit of me versus me with growth and grit goals. No comparisons, just evolution. These challenges push you to level up one mindful mile at a time. So 91, I'm going to ask you to run a benchmark time trial, then work on your training consistently and repeat it 3 months later. That's right. I want you to bring that consistency crown and see that benchmark time trial make some big changes. Which also brings us to number 92, train for a distance that scares you a little bit. For me, you guys know that last year it was the 50K. I knew I could do it, but I also was a little intimidated by the training that would go into it. So glad that I made that happen. Number 93 is try to work out a little bit of speed work into your life and then realize that you can survive, even thrive. Number 94, commit to a full strength or mobility plan during your training. If you're done with some of your endurance miles, this is the perfect time to reach for a strength and mobility plan. This one's going to require a whole lot of convincing. But remember how I said to try a naked run? Well, I'm going to ask you to try an entire season of running without your watch and trusting your body. I know, this bucket list, this particular item may take you a very long time to convince yourself to do, but I'm here to tell you that there was a whole time out there before people ran with watches for every single metric. Now, number 96 is to tackle and power up a hill that earlier on in your training, you used to have to walk the entire thing. And then get okay with doing more hill work. Number 97 is spend a dedicated season working on heart rate training. Now, ironically, this is not for the faint of heart, and this may humble you a bit, but giving it an entire season or even two to really lean into working with your body instead of against it. Now, number 98 is near and dear to my heart, is sticking to an actual plan. Meaning, not jumping around to whatever latest fad or craze that you hear other runners doing, but sticking to your consistent training plan, giving it a dedicated season. Now we're on to number 99, completing a long run by yourself with no playlist or distractions. Oh, I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for that one. I know I am. But listen to me. We live in a world with so much distraction constantly vying for our attention. I would love for you to just tune into you, your heartbeat, your rhythm of your feet, and really own into that for a solo long run. Talk about building that mental grit. And then number 100 on my list that I feel is incredibly important is to dedicate one entire beautiful season of your life to working on pace progress with a me versus me mentality. I know you don't have to work to get faster, but you should at some point give yourself the opportunity of really stepping into what can I do if I just give myself an opportunity to work on what I can control with my running. Maybe it looks like really honing in on your form or your cadence, again, more of your heart rate, but letting yourself lean into the benefits that can come into giving yourself that entire season. I'm not asking you to hit elite paces or break world records, just to have the experience of showing up for yourself is really what it comes down to. So my friend, I want to hear what you think about this top 100 list. Do you agree with me about dancing at water stops, or maybe how it's important to survive your first chafe? Conquering new distances, or just saying, hey, I'm doing the dang thing. So I want you to keep showing on up and keep lacing up, my friend, because it is incredibly important to make this journey your own. So with that said, I'd love to know how many you have checked off. And again, how many you would potentially change or have a different opinion about. Now, my friend, I want to remind you that extraordinary doesn't mean perfect. It means you showed up and made it your own. So until next time, thank you so much for joining me. I'm Coach Christine, and I'm here to encourage you to dream those big, audacious goals, run your own race, and keep making every stride a little bit more extra.